Once upon a time, in a bustling city filled with towering skyscrapers and luxury malls, a wealthy businessman named Mr. Harrison and his 11-year-old son, Ethan, spent the afternoon shopping in one of the most prestigious shopping centers. Ethan was an only child, cherished dearly by his father. They had just finished their shopping and were heading toward their car when a frail, barefooted boy approached them hesitantly. "Please, sir," the boy pleaded with tear-filled eyes. "I don't have any decent clothes to wear." Mr. Harrison turned and looked at the boy. His heart clenched at the sight before him. The child's clothes were torn, barely covering his small frame. His hair was unkempt and his feet were coated in dust. "What's your name, son?" Mr. Harrison asked softly. "Lucas," the boy answered in a timid voice. "And how old are you?" "I'm 11, sir," he responded. A gentle smile formed on Mr. Harrison's lips. "Well, my son Ethan is also 11, and I have a feeling some of his new clothes might fit you just fine." He turned to Ethan, who had been watching the exchange quietly. "Ethan, do you think you could share some of the clothes we just bought?" The boy glanced at the shopping bags, then at Lucas. He nodded without hesitation. "It's fine, Dad. We can always come back another day." Proud of his son's generosity, Mr. Harrison reached into the bags and handed a few clothing items to Lucas. The boy's face lit up with joy. His hands trembled as he accepted them. "Where do you live, Lucas?" Mr. Harrison asked. "Under the bridge just down the street," the boy said, his voice laced with both shame and gratitude. Mr. Harrison patted the boy's shoulder warmly. "Take care of yourself." Lucas watched as the father and son got into their sleek car and drove away, his heart swelling with gratitude. 4 months later, one cold evening, Mr. Harrison drove through the same street again, his heart weighed down by sorrow. He stopped near the bridge where Lucas lived. As he stepped out, Lucas ran up to him, surprised and excited. Before Lucas could speak, Mr. Harrison opened the car trunk, revealing boxes filled with clothes, shoes, toys, and a warm blanket. "These all belong to Ethan," Mr. Harrison said softly. Lucas's excitement turned into confusion. "But what about your son? Wouldn't he need these anymore?" Mr. Harrison took a deep breath, his eyes glistening with unshed tears. "No, Lucas. Ethan is in heaven now." Lucas froze. "What?" he whispered, his voice barely audible. "My sweet boy battled cancer for 2 years. We knew he wouldn't be with us for long, but we never stopped hoping, praying. Watching him slip away was the hardest thing I've ever had to endure." Mr. Harrison's voice trembled as he continued. "Before he passed, Ethan told me, 'Daddy, when I'm gone, please give all my things to the poor boy we met outside the mall.'" Tears streamed down Lucas's face. He clutched the clothes tightly, overwhelmed by emotions. Mr. Harrison knelt beside him. "Lucas, you may not have riches, but you have something priceless, life. Something that no amount of money can buy. I would have given everything I own just to keep my son a little longer, but fate had other plans." Lucas sobbed, realizing the depth of Ethan's kindness. "We often envy others, thinking they have a perfect life," Mr. Harrison said. "But the truth is, everyone is fighting a battle we cannot see. Instead of comparing ourselves to others, we should be grateful for what we do have and focus on our own journey." He placed a comforting hand on Lucas's shoulder. "For as long as there is life, there is hope." That night, Lucas held onto Ethan's clothes like a treasure, not just because they would keep him warm, but because they carried the legacy of a boy who, even in his final days, chose to give rather than to take. Moral lesson of this story: life is the most precious gift we have. Instead of envying others, we should cherish what we have and strive to make the most of it. Kindness and generosity leave a lasting impact, And no matter our circumstances, we should always find ways to help those in need.